Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
You're tuned in to Roundtable. I'm Steve Hatherley today with Yushan and Yushan. Coming up, imagine checking into a 5-star hotel and never checking out. No more short-term stays, no more moving to a facility when you need help. Across China, something is happening. Luxury hotels are transforming into permanent homes for an aging generation. After that, F1 in China used to be a niche pursuit, whispered about in exclusive circles. Not anymore. This year's Grand Prix in Shanghai didn't just sell out, it became a cultural moment. Fans mobbing drivers, clips going viral. A sport that once felt foreign suddenly feels like it belongs. Our podcast listeners, that's you, can find us at Roundtable China on Apple Podcast, and you can send your voice notes our way too. Roundtablepodcast at QQ.com. One more time, Roundtablepodcast at QQ.com. And now, what if the future of luxury hospitality is not about travelers at all, but about people who never check out? For years, the hotel industry and the elderly care sector existed in completely different universes. One was about short-term stays and turn-down services. The other was about long-term care, medical supervision, and navigating complex subsidy systems. But right now, those two worlds are merging in a way that no one really saw coming. Across China, developers are turning hotels into retirement homes. They're swapping short-term stays for long-term care, and I think it could be the future for both industries. It's a really great idea, in my opinion. Nobody loses here. It's win-win-win-win-win for everybody involved, and we're going to tell you why. So first, though, let's learn about the new change in the hotel and elderly care industries.
So yeah, here's what's going on. It's not something I will do anytime soon, but if you walk into a modern, upscale retirement community today, you might actually feel like you've happened to accidentally checked into a 5-star hotel. That's the view that we're giving you right now, and that's by design too. The hotel plus elderly care model. It is no longer just in theory, but also became a bold attempt by many pioneering enterprises, such as the Xinbei Wei Hotel in Beijing's Xicheng district. That's in central Beijing. That's right next to a lot of sites, a tourism site like Temple of Heaven, Taoyuan Park, the Yongding Gate. But that used to be
it's downtown, basically.
It's downtown. It's in a golden location, but now it's been transformed into a 4-star hotel. And a lot of people living nearby really don't move out that far away from their home and just live in the elder care center.
Turned into a 4-star hotel or turned into a senior care facility?
It's turned into a senior care facility from a hotel, 4-star hotel.
Yeah, there are plenty of examples from different parts of the country.
Yeah, and the story also happened in Chengdu in southwest China's Sichuan province. A state-owned company in Sichuan took an old 7-story hotel in the old city and then turned it into a nursing home. They kept the original building but gave everything a serious makeover. So the old guest rooms became senior-friendly apartments, and the lobby is a health management center now, and the restaurant is becoming a therapeutic kitchen.
Perfect.
And then throwing some medical care services, and you've got a place that truly blends healthcare with daily living.
Probably some scrambled eggs and tunes being cooked up as we speak right now. Okay, so you've got these old, or what used to be multi-star hotels that are now turning into a place for long-term elder care.
Right.
Why? Why now? Why is this necessary? Or maybe necessary is the wrong choice of word, but why is this becoming a trend?
Well, first of all, it's good business for the hotels because this is according to the China Hotel Association that the average hotel vacancy rate nationwide has actually reached nearly 40% in the first quarter of 2025, and it continues to rise. So So meaning that, especially for luxurious hotels these days, the market is being stirred up and the fish pond is squeezing in a lot of more affordable, while in the meantime perhaps not losing at all in terms of the luxurious style and the standard that they're holding. So a lot of hotels in China are really emerging, making these luxurious hotels, star rating hotels, losing customers in some way.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not because of poor quality.
No.
And it's not because of poor service.
It's just there are more variety of choices for people.
And much more. The supply increased by 3.5%. Demand only grew by 0.4%.
True.
So that those numbers tell the whole story almost.
The whole industry actually experienced a lot during the recent years. Well, of course, after the pandemic, they have been struggling.
Yeah.
And then actually after that, the industry experienced a lot of, I think, practitioners also getting in, because right now we can see so many other like smaller brands, but maybe targeting another group of people who are like asking these kind of exquisite like B&Bs, but they are not like chain hotels. So many other options for consumers now, and then that is why I think the whole industry is also looking or getting a lot of like obstacles.
We are not lost for choice as customers, that is for sure. Now, on the flip side of that coin, the demand of nursing facilities is on the rise too.
Yeah, because the old elderly care way usually takes the kids, like taking care of the aging parents at home. Well, that is still the norm nowadays, but more and more families are starting to have a change of mind, and many seniors like the idea of staying in their own communities that's not far away from home, but also have a professional nursing center or elder care center that they can really get whatever they need from. So that's why community-based care is really taking off in China these days, and people are actually willing to pay for good service. Over 70% actually of families are ready to spend money on things like emotional companionship, making homes safer for aging parents, or just people who live in the caring center, and also you at the meantime receive proper medical care. We talked about like AI robots or robotic forces helping with elder care in previous shows too. So yeah, that's like a sci-fi movie of how retirement may look like for me in 50 years.
Is it because of issues? I said before that, it's not due the demand doesn't meet the supply for multi-starred hotels, and that's not blaming the hotels at all. On this side, can there be blame put on the existing nursing homes? Meaning, why are the customers looking for a different style of nursing home than what already exists?
I think the issue, if I may call it, lies in the fact that a lot of these current nursing homes are located in, especially in the case of bigger cities, they locate in the outer skirts of the city because they really need a larger space, sometimes in the suburban areas or even more further out, in order to build up private nursing homes and put in all the professional equipments inside. So vacancy rates may be over 50% in their cases, and if the place is really remote with bad transportation, then those numbers may even get higher, meaning that it's out there, but people find it really far away, and it almost looks like a trip with no return if you want to go all the way out there.
Yeah, and that's why vacancy rates in those facilities may be lower than 50%. And that's obviously not the key to a successful business. And this is a similar story that you'll hear in rural towns as well, because in the rural areas, the population is more scattered, of course. So nursing homes tend to be clustered around maybe town halls or villages where people tend to be more concentrated, but they're still far from where seniors actually live. So it's an issue of location. It's an issue of geography here.
Yeah.
The market is also showing the trend that it is getting bigger and bigger because, of course, we are seeing or witnessing the whole society, right? The aging population is getting bigger, and then the wellness consumption will also climb up in the future. And according to the China Wellness Industry Consumer Trends Report, the wellness market hit 8 trillion yuan. That's about more than $1 trillion in 2023, with consumer spending growing at an average rate of 9% per year. And then by 2025, it expected to reach 9.5 trillion yuan by 2030.
So it sounds like, and I want to talk about one specific example that kind of stood out to me, but it sounds like there's an image change with these places as well, which is probably important to convince people of that age to want to live in these types of places. Number one, we talked about it, they're out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, nobody wants to live out there anyway. But number two, there's a connotation, isn't there? And the connotation is, and this exists with seniors too, they don't want to live in these places a lot of the time because they feel like, oh, that's for old people. But they don't feel old. So we're talking about a wellness image change here, and there's a particular example from Guangzhou. This place in Guangzhou, it's run by a local R&F group, and it's kind of a hotel-style health and wellness brand. And in that particular place, it really does feel like a 5-star hotel. So what they did was they partnered with a Fortune 500 food service company, and they hired a former 5-star hotel executive chef as a culinary consultant. The menu is a mix of Chinese and Western cuisine. It focuses on nutrition. It focuses on age-friendly flavors, and it changes regularly to meet the demands or the needs or the tastes of the local residents. That's the food. Now, the rooms are equipped with nursing beds, call buttons, anti-slip flooring, anti-glare lighting, rounded furniture. These are all things that are designed for long-term comfort and also designed to meet the standard for a 5-star hotel room. And then you've got your regular cleaning and maintenance. The staff, they wear uniforms there, so it's very professional. And this is creating a demand. This is creating a place where seniors are thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind living there. That sounds pretty great, actually.
Yeah, that actually reminded me of a kind of a stereotype that has always been there in China, at least. When elderlies were sent to these kind of nursing homes, people may perceive this as the situation that you are not like
cared for, attended.
You are not taken good care of by your children.
Or you're not capable of taking care of yourself. And that's not always the case either.
And then I think the image of all of these luxury hotels turned nursing homes can kind of, I think, telling people that, okay, we provide you very, very good service, very, very good infrastructure, and you will have a very good experience living in here. And that, I think, will just naturally eliminate that kind of stereotype.
It sounds like a place I'd like to live.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would qualify age-wise just yet. All right, so what type of properties then are best suited for conversion? You know, we keep saying 5-star hotel, which probably puts the image in our mind of, you know, some 60-story tower, but that's not always the case.
Well, sometimes it's the higher-end ones that, as we mentioned earlier, has a higher vacancy rate nowadays. But it's not like most of the investors are going all in with a full conversion. Sometimes they're doing what's called light remodeling, meaning that the high-end hotel who still have their bread and butter, the business travelers and short-term guests, they can retain those customers. In the meantime, kind of transfer part of their facilities into a nursing home just overnight. You don't really risk losing your original customer base, but also having the nursing and caring facilities just for senior care. That's like a win-win for them.
Yeah, so it's like a hybrid model then.
Right. And also they keep the hotel's existing strength, the restaurant, the security, the service infrastructure, and also layer another filter on senior-friendly touches. That way they control costs and really get the revenue from both sides. And also their hotels already come with features that make them attractive for senior living. I'm talking about hotels. These are not senior care centers yet. They're just hotels but with additional facilities such as the dining facilities and recreational areas. I remember there's one Holiday Inn, like they were adding a lot of accessibility and also senior-friendly equipments inside their day-to-day hotel facility structures. So, yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Holiday Inn because I was curious to know. In fact, I already knew the answer because I witnessed it firsthand, but I was curious to know how much of a trend this was in Canada or America, and Holiday Inn was one of the brands that was mentioned for this. There are so many advantages from a business point of view because if you're looking at building a new senior facility center, a place for seniors to live and be taken care of, comparing the cost of building something from scratch or taking an existing facility and renovating it and changing it the way you need to, it just makes so much more sense. It's financially smarter. You can put these repurposed properties with existing guest rooms into action and reduce the cost by 15 to 25%. And you can increase the speed too. You can get them ready for customers about 30 to 40% faster. That's the one side of things. But then these existing facilities, they're kind of already ready for people to move in because they already have the rooms in place. They just need to be changed a little bit.
And also, when it comes to full conversion, like the one I mentioned earlier, the Xinbeiwei Hotel in Beijing, in downtown Beijing, they not only changed the external color of their wall to make it more appealing and warmly and welcoming to the seniors, but also added all the equipments inside. And the people inside, the staff inside also got retained. About 60% of the original hotel staff were retrained to become life butlers for the senior care customers they are receiving nowadays. So it's, for them, a more sustainable way to not only balance out the cost, but also retain your talents and just do a full switch from one function to another.
Totally makes sense. So how are they doing that? Then how are they doing this where they're keeping their high-end hotel standards but just adjusting? They're doing some hardware and software renovations, if you will, or is it more on one side than the other?
And it is kind of reflecting that it is a very good idea and good business, and the high return rate is also showing that the fact. So converting a hotel into a nursing home can deliver returns of 15% to 25%, way higher than the sub 10% margins traditional hotels usually
can make more money.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the government is also rolling out some subsidies for age-friendly conversions, which can shorten the paycheck period even more.
And it's actually meeting up diversified needs, isn't it? Because we'll take a mid-sized nursing home with 200 beds as an example. The value-added services usually account for 10% to 20% of total revenue. And for high-end places, the numbers are even bigger. The monthly fees can run from 10,000 to 30,000 yuan. That's roughly 1,450 to 4,350 US dollars per person when you factor in the customized medical care and premium rehab there. So a lot of need out there for, old people moving in, but in the meantime, it's good money for the business too.
I said that I had experienced this firsthand in my travels. We were in New York City and we were staying in a hotel. And when we went to check into the room, just got to the front door and then pulled out my card key, and the door next to us opened. This little old lady popped out, and she said, "Are you? Oh, hello there. Are you my new neighbor?" And I said, "Well, hi. For a few days we are." And she said, "Oh dear, that's wonderful. Enjoy your time. I've been living here for 34 years."
Wow.
Yeah, she was a long time resident of that hotel. She had that thick New York accent, which I did very poorly there, but she was so sweet. And I kind of wanted to talk to her a little bit, but I kind of also didn't. But just proof that this kind of system has been working for a long time. And do you agree with me? I said in the beginning, this is just a win. It's a win for the hotels. It's a win for the people who live there. It's a win for the hotels that were, what would have happened to them if they didn't get converted? Probably would have been sold off, right? So I really don't see any downsides to this.
I think it is the kind of a trend that is reflecting in many, many aspects. Of course, in the like elderly care area. And then there is another trend. Many young people, they stopped renting houses. They started to live in hotels because they have room service to clean the room,
and it's cheaper.
Sometimes, it is
Can
cheaper.
be.
If you like live really, really long time, maybe you can have a bargain with the hotel itself.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a trend, and also the facilities are already there. So when we're breaking down the costs, so turning a hotel into a accommodation like this, maybe you will only need to take care of the things that is maybe already there, or that kind of renovation, age-friendly renovation, investment in medical and wellness equipment, and also hiring and training specialized staff. So facilities there, and the interior is the thing that you need to think of.
I'm a bit of old school. I'm imagining that when I turn old, I'd prefer staying at home than moving out to any really professional higher-end hotel or communities that I know is going to take good care of me as long as I pay. But it's just like, nowadays, I'm really glad that there are services out there for people who are into this idea. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that this does not become a good excuse for young people to really think that, my grandparents are being taken care of anyway. So, maybe it's not necessary for me to visit. That's not what we're selling.
Yeah, but I mean, some non-slip flooring and rounded furniture sounds pretty good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's not be too picky. You're listening to Roundtable, and coming up next is F1, the fastest growing sport in China.
Looking for passion? How about fiery debate? Want to hear about current events in China from different perspectives? Then tune in to Roundtable, where East meets West and understanding is the goal.
You're listening to Roundtable. I'm Steve with Yushan and Yushun. Record-breaking ticket sales, fan meetups, and viral clips of F1 drivers interacting with Chinese fans have turned the 2026 F1 Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai into a total success. But it's not just about one race. It's clear that F1 mania is spreading across the country as fast as the cars go. So it was a niche before, but now it has caught fire. You should tell us why.
So first of all, the 2026 Formula One Chinese Grand Prix concluded on March the 15th at the Shanghai International Circuit. And then over the past few days, the circuit drew a crowd of over 230,000 people, with ticket sales rising by more than 30% compared to last year. And that's only last year, because the demand for tickets reflected the heightened interest. Because I was looking at the information online. One long-time F1 fan from Guangdong said that a few years ago, I could just pick my seat. I can choose where to seat.
Yeah.
And this year, I waited for tickets to go on sale and couldn't even get one for Friday's practice sessions.
Yeah, 230,000 spectators. That's about in line, by the way, with international numbers, which is really, really cool to see. Yeah, the ticket sales were up for this particular event. And also, which I thought was cool, was 64% of the audience that came to Shanghai for that race came from other provinces and cities across China. And also, 16% were international visitors, too.
Yeah.
So people were traveling to get there.
Yeah, I was just going to cut in and say, on my WeChat moment, people bombarded with pictures of taking on site or taking at some of the events venue all over Shanghai. We're going to talk about that too later. And I see a lot of people traveling from Beijing, from other cities all over China to Shanghai in order to be part of this. Here leads to my big question. What's the appeal for F1? like for people like me, a pupil in the classroom of F1, for example, I don't get it yet. So yeah, you guys, what's the biggest appeal of F1 for you both?
it just had that kind of tense, thrilling vibe that you can watch, if, no matter it's online, on TV, or in the scene.
It isn't just race cars running in circle?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's more to it than that. The drivers have to be in excellent physical condition. It's like high-speed chess in a way. There's a lot of strategy that goes into a race. And I love the sound of the engines and high speeds. It's really cool. And people in China are loving it too because, 230,000 this year to the event. Last year was 220, and in 2024 it was 200,000. So that's increasing every year for the last 3 years to this event, which is really, really good news. What do you attribute, the reasons for the growth in the popularity and the increased interest?
Well, I think this year's advertisement is really playing a very important role. And as the host city for the Chinese Grand Prix, Shanghai didn't just host a 3-day race. They turned it into something just everyone in the city could enjoy.
Even if you're not an F1 fan.
Exactly. And ever since F1 came back in 2024, Shanghai has expanded the event first into a whole racing month in March. And this year, it's a 54-day citywide festival. And this year, fans didn't even need to go to the track to feel the hype. There were just one-to-one tire change challenges in these shopping malls and karting tracks.
Yeah, so they when the cars come in to change their tires, it's literally done in about 3 seconds or so.
Yeah,
wow.
Because it just really, really matter when it is a very intense match.
Sure.
And then people shout box. That's kind of that people do when they were doing that. And I've seen videos that people that's kind of a competitive challenge that to see how fast you can change a tire in that shopping mall.
It's awesome. Yushan's face is like, why?
Like, yeah, exactly. Change of tires?
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
But hey, I remember when the F1, the movie came out. Was it last year?
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Yushan was crazy about the movie.
So was I.
Yeah.
So was I. And actually, I think that's a great point. I think that probably led to an increase in popularity too.
Could be.
Absolutely, because what they tried to do with that film was they wanted to make the most realistic F1 racing movie that had ever been made, because they've made F1 racing movies before. This wasn't the first, but the realistic approach to the making of this film. I mean, I think Lewis Hamilton, he's one of the top racers in the world, one of the best drivers in the world, if not the best. He was one of the producers for the film.
Exactly.
So they wanted the real people involved to make the product as realistic as they could.
Interesting.
And people who didn't even like F1 before that film still enjoyed the movie. So I think the movie served as a great entry point for new fans of the sport.
I agree. Actually, I started to get a deeper understanding of F1 because of that movie. And of course, ever since Liberty Media took over F1 in 2017, they've been on a mission to turn it into a global entertainment brand rather than just a series of races. To, I think, making people to lower the barrier to entry by using these documentaries or movies to reach people who wouldn't normally watch a car race. And that is quite successful also here in China. F1, the movie starring Brad Pitt, have been huge, and it put in over $56 million.
Yeah.
Roughly 450
in China.
million yuan.
Yeah, it was
The
really
Chinese box
popular.
office.
Yeah.
When I went, the theater was packed and people were loving the movie. It's also got an image. It's got a very luxurious image as well. A lot of famous people are usually involved with the events. Celebrities will visit there. You know, they're drinking champagne and they're dressed up very, very, very nicely. So it's got this kind of high end. I mean, the cars are obviously very expensive too, but the whole overall image is really kind of classy, I guess, which is appealing for many people.
And I guess one reason that I read that how F1 is really blowing up in China is also because it's matching the growth of China's auto industry.
Oh, yes.
Because we talked about back in 2025, China made and sold over 34 million cars. That's more than any other country for 17 years in a row. So it's also leading the popularity of, I heard they're doing like electric power car now in F1. Yushan, you told me that's a F1 model, or like what's the name of that?
They have another category for that thing. It's
Just
called
for-
Formula E.
just
only
for
yeah,
EVs.
EVs. And of course, big Chinese names like BYD are now openly exploring the idea of joining F1, seeing it as the ultimate test lab for their battery and motor tech.
So, just very quickly, Shanghai was involved and has been in the past. Are other Chinese cities learning from this experience or interested in seizing the opportunity, so to speak?
I think it's the good old experience of event plus X or event plus multiple other things package to turn a single race into a comprehensive tourism experience. I think that's really adaptable in many cities across China.
And also holding the event citywide is a very good idea to actually reach out more people who are not even like have an idea or have a better understanding on that.
Okay, so Yushan, you're not the biggest F1 fan, right? So I'm going to try to convince you in 5 seconds, okay?
All right.
Doesn't that feel exciting to you?
Let's give it another try another time.
Fair enough. All right, that'll do it for today's roundtable. Thank you very much for being with us today. I'm Steve for Yushan and Yushan. We hope you enjoyed the program. Have a good day and join us again next time.